AITA for not dropping child support, even if my husband is able to support my child financially. When I was 20, I dated Ryan who was 28. I'll let him know how I felt about abortion, pro-choice but I don't want one for me, and that I was using birth control regularly. I became pregnant 6 months into our relationship after 4 years of continuous VC use with zero scares. He did not want to use a protection, which I do agree, was very stupid on my part. Ryan wanted no part, which I understood. All I asked was that he provided child support in whatever way he could. He disagreed and eventually I had to go to court. Over 3 years, he would evade support, work under the table, or use his wealthy parents to support him. I did get a steady stream of support after 2 years, but it was just barely enough. I eventually graduated from college, while being a mom 24/7 and working. I was mom and dad for 3 years, and did it on my own financially with the odd CS check here and there. After that, I met my husband Kyle. Kyle has been in our lives since my son, Lukas, was 3 years old. Lukas calls him dad, and they are very close. I've asked Ryan to let Kyle adopt Lukas but he refuses. He'll barely even talk to me, and he has me blocked everywhere. I had to ask through my lawyer and I gave up on it after several no's. We've had to learn to be content with Kyle being Lukas's real father in every way but legally. The problem is that Ryan found out exactly what Kyle does for a living. Kyle is an engineer with a well-known company. He's making enough that I can stay home with the kids and pursue other dreams of mine. For example, I've always wanted to get my master's, and with my husband's job, I can afford to put my efforts into that without worrying about the expense of childcare. Because of this, Ryan pays me child support as if I was unemployed, and he's now at an age where he has to stay at one job for more than a few months. He's paying me much more than if I was working. It makes him extremely angry to know that we're, Lukas and I, living quite comfortably. Before the current situation, we went to court. The judge and our state laws don't take into account what Kyle makes, and determined that Ryan would continue to pay the set amount. He believes that he should pay nothing, and Kyle can support us. I agree, but he refuses to let my son be adopted. If Ryan won't let another man be the legal father of my son, then he can continue to fulfill the obligations of a legal father. My husband agrees, and doesn't think I should just drop the child support. Obviously, Ryan wants me to drop it, and his mother has even reached out. He and his parents have never even met Lukas, and are only contacting me to drop CS. AITA for not dropping child support. Edit. Wow, I didn't expect to read so many comments. I really appreciate the time everyone has taken to respond to me. I would like to answer a few common questions I've seen here. Does Ryan know child support is no longer his responsibility if he allows my son to be adopted? Yes. He's aware of this, or so I think. I sent a letter to his home explaining how the process would work. Essentially no more CS in exchange for adoption. I would like to think he's not a total idiot and could have easily found out this information himself. Nevertheless, I did inform him in basic English what would happen. Does Ryan's mother know about the adoption? Have I thought of reaching out to her? Again, I would hope she saw the letter I wrote, or is intelligent enough to put 2 and 2 together. Ryan suffers from type 1 diabetes and was spoiled quite a bit. His parents couldn't protect him from CS or taking responsibility. I was the evil person who ruined their kid's life and didn't allow him to pursue going to college or whatever. He was 28 when this all happened. He wasn't going to go to college regardless, but Kathy isn't likely to back me here. I'm sure she also has that weird legacy, explained below, thing that prevents her from wanting to help. Why won't he allow an adoption? The main reason is that my son is the only boy in his family. His siblings all had girls and Ryan is unlikely to marry or father another child. I couldn't explain it to anyone because I don't even get it myself. My son has never met his paternal family and he has my maiden name. What do we do with the CS? When I initially began receiving the $100 a month, I was using it all on my son since I was working a crappy job and going to school. Right now, the payments are better. Definitely not some crazy amount. I promise I'm not trying to rob this man or bleed him dry. It's a very reasonable amount compared to his income. We actually put away a bit more than that in a fund for my daughters every month. So I put the whole CS amount in Lucas's account and Kyle makes up the remaining amount himself, so that all our children are on equal footing. We call it a college fund, but we completely intend for this money to go towards anything that children want, whether it be a down payment for a home, college, trade school, etc. Again, thank you for taking the time to respond to me. I feel guilty at times because of my mother. She tells me to look at things from Ryan's perspective and how his diabetes has limited his life. I don't want to make his life harder or more complex. However, I think it's enough of feeling sorry for this man. I'll be pushing harder for this adoption to happen for my son. He's getting to the age where he understands more and is able to express what he wants to a judge. Thank you. Reddit comments. Do not drop the child support. If you feel bad, then put it all in a scholarship fund and give to your child when he goes to college. Problem solved. NTA. Op. Thank you. I do feel a bit bad because he's completely right. Both of us could be fine with just my husband's income. But damn, we struggled so much at first. I try to think of it as the help my son and I should have gotten in those first 3 years. No way girl, he is not completely right. You are both financially responsible for this child. You fulfill your responsibility daily and found a man who loves you both. That doesn't let Dad off the hook financially. No, you collect that cash for your son. Op should definitely not drop the child support, but I also understand why Ryan is frustrated. It doesn't seem fair that his payments increase because Op is choosing not to work. It would be one thing if she was trying to work but couldn't for some reason. In that case, it makes sense for him to pay more, but that's not the case here. He should definitely still have to pay as long as he's legally the father, and he should have to make up for missed child support and interest penalties no matter what. AITA, because people are missing my specific point. Yes, Ryan is a huge R for skipping payments before, and he should definitely have to pay the back support plus penalties. And yes, he has the ability to not have to pay in the future. The system still sucks if it works the way Op described it. Both of us could be fine with just my husband's income. Fine for now. NTA. Child support is for the child, his child, and has nothing to do with your new husband's income, court proceedings notwithstanding. As we've seen, your financial situation could change overnight. There is no guarantee that your current financial situation will continue, so he needs to continue to pay child support to support his child. Whether you use it immediately, save it for a rainy day, or use it for college's good financial management and planning on your part, not an excuse for him to stop paying. You are both financially responsible for the child. The source of your contribution, your husband's income, is irrelevant to Ryan's financial responsibilities to the child. I wish more people would understand this is how child support is looked at legally. A child is legally entitled to be supported by both of its parents according to their earning capacity. That's why couples can't make agreements about child support that are legally enforceable. It's the child's right to receive support, not the right of either parent. NTA. Even a little bit. Ryan is this child's legal father. That means he needs to support his son. Doesn't matter if Op's husband could provide enough. It's Ryan's obligation to his son. NTA, if he wants to remain the legal father, then he needs to fulfill that responsibility. If he lets your husband adopt the son, then he's done. But for now it seems like he'll be paying for his immaturity, literally. I hope you can lawyer up and get that money from him. NTA, do not drop child support. I was the little boy near example. My dad's mom used to send me clothes for a year, then presented the receipts to the court to try and get the CS payments reduced. The court reviewed it and actually upped the amount he had to pay. The other thing to look at is that this dad probably needs to be covering the kid's health insurance costs. Anyway, my dad is a gigantic idiot. Sounds just like this idiot. Just by the title I was leaning towards yes, but after reading the entire post NTA, he's never even met his own child, but refuses to let another man adopt him. How childish. It may be a teensy bit petty but keep getting that child support. Edit. My initial opinion solely on the title was based on how I would feel in the situation before reading any of the post. NTA. Keep milking him until he lets your husband adopt your son. If he gets a better job or makes more money, make sure the courts increase his payment amount. At some point he will cave, or you can just keep socking that child support money for your child's college fund. Either way it's a win.